Have you ever found yourself saying something you didn't quite believe? Not just to be polite, maybe, or get through a situation. And then maybe you wondered if somehow saying it actually started to change how you really felt deep down. Okay, let's dig into that. Today on The Deep Dive, we're looking at some really fascinating psychological research. It shows how our actions can, well, subtly but powerfully reshape our internal beliefs. Our main source here is a landmark study, really foundational stuff. It's called Cognitive Consequences of Forced Compliance. And it was authored by Leon Festinger and James M. Carlsmith, published way back in 1959. A classic. To help us sort of unpack all this, we've got our expert guide with us.
Hi there. Yeah, what's so interesting about this Festinger and Carlsmith paper is how it tackles head-on this concept that was pretty revolutionary back then. Cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance.
Basically, yeah, it's that uncomfortable feeling, that tension we get when our beliefs or our attitudes, maybe our behaviors, just don't line up. And when we feel that discomfort, our minds, they instinctively want to reduce it somehow.
Okay, so how did they actually test this? I mean, in a lab setting, Festinger and Carlsmith, how did they set it up?
Well, they designed this really clever experiment. They got male students from Stanford University, and these students were asked to do these incredibly dull, really monotonous tasks for a whole hour.
An hour. Doing what exactly?
Things like turning pegs on a board over and over, or putting spools onto a tray and then taking them off again. Just mind-numbing stuff.
Okay, so definitely designed to be boring. No question about that.
Absolutely. The point was to make sure everyone agreed afterwards, yeah, that was tedious. That negative opinion was locked in. Then came the actual experiment part. After the hour of boredom, subjects were asked to do something specific.
Which was?
To lie. They had to go tell the next person waiting, who they thought was another participant, that the boring tasks they just did were actually really interesting, enjoyable even.
Ah, okay. Tell them the opposite of what they truly felt.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. They split the students into groups based on payment for telling this lie. Yeah. Some students were paid just $1 to tell the waiting person the tasks were fun.
$1? That's not much, even back in 1959.
Right. Another group got paid $20, a pretty decent sum back then.
Okay, $1 versus $20. Big difference. And there was a control group, too.
Exactly, a control group who did the boring tasks but weren't asked to lie at all.
So the prediction, based on this dissonance idea, was kind of backwards, wasn't it? They thought the bigger reward would lead to less opinion change?
That was the counterintuitive hypothesis, yes. And the results. They strongly backed it up.
Really? So what did they find?
Okay, so the control group, the ones who didn't lie, they rated the tasks as boring as you'd expect. Their average rating was about minus 0.45 on the scale they used. Negative meant boring.
Makes sense. What about the $20 group?
They also rated the tasks as boring. Despite getting paid well, their rating was only minus 0.05. Still negative. They basically didn't change their minds.
Okay. So the big money didn't make them think it was fun.
Nope. But the $1 group, they actually rated the tasks as enjoyable. Their average score was plus 1.35, a positive number.
Wow. So the group paid the least ended up liking the boring tasks the most.
That's what the data showed. It's pretty striking.
So what's going on there? Why would less money make you convince yourself something boring was actually fun?
Well, think about it from the dissonance perspective. If you get paid $20 to tell a small lie, you have a really good external reason for doing it.
Right. You could just tell yourself, hey, anyone would say that for $20. No real internal conflict.
Exactly. The money justifies the lie. There's very little dissonance, so you don't need to change your actual opinion of the task. You know it was boring, but hey, you got paid.
But for the $1 group.
Now that's different. $1 isn't really a strong justification for lying, is it? It feels insufficient.
Yeah, kind of flimsy.
So now you have this uncomfortable clash. Your internal belief is that task was incredibly dull. But your action, your statement was that task was fun, and you only got a measly $1 for it.
So there's a big gap, a lot of that dissonance.
A lot of dissonance. And the easiest way for your mind to resolve that uncomfortable tension isn't to take back the lie, it's to subtly change your original opinion.
To make your belief match your actions.
Exactly. You convince yourself, you know what? Thinking back, it wasn't that bad. It was kind of interesting, actually. Your private attitude shifts to align with your public behavior, reducing the dissonance.
That's slightly unsettling, how easily our minds can do that.
It is. And they even checked, maybe the $1 group just tried harder to be convincing liars.
Good point. Did they?
Nope. They actually tape recorded the conversations when the students were telling the lie. Independent raters listened and found no real difference in how persuasive or convincing the $1 versus the $20 group sounded.
So it wasn't about the performance of the lie. It was about the internal shift afterwards.
Seems so. The attitude change happened internally to resolve the conflict caused by insufficient justification.
So this deep dive into Festinger and Carlsmith from 1959 really highlights something fundamental, doesn't it? Our behavior isn't just a reflection of our beliefs.
It can actively shape them, especially, it seems, when we act in ways that conflict with our beliefs without a strong, obvious external reason.
That really makes you think.
It does, and maybe a question for you, listening right now. Think about times in your own life. Have you ever said something, or maybe done something, that didn't quite match how you felt inside? Particularly when the reason felt, well, small, like that $1. Could that seemingly minor act have subtly, maybe unconsciously, nudged your own true beliefs? Where else might this forced compliance effect be playing out? Maybe in our jobs, our relationships, or even how we form opinions about bigger societal issues. Something to ponder.